Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cormundum Chaos D&D with WhatTeamComp. I am your host, Archaic DM, the Uncommon Guru. Hopefully the acoustics here are picking me up a bit better. I moved to a new place. Made it hopefully a little bit easier for me to do some other things as well, but we'll see. Today we are joined once again by our good friends. We have Zarkwarts, who is playing Aurelius, the human fighter paladin.
Average existential crisis simulator.
Accurate. We have Mary, who is playing Genevieve, aka Fidget, the human fighter warlock.
That would be me.
We have Paris, who's playing as Serenity, the Azmar barbarian. Give her a moment. She's apparently there. She is.
Hi, Pit. I can't say hi in no fucking way other than this ghetto. Fuck you, microphone.
she was high pitched, probably with a yippee. yeah. I could barely hear it for a split second, but I heard it.
Fucking man, my phone is not built for me. I'm too powerful.
Yippee. We have Kendall, who is playing Artemis, the half-elf artificer wizard.
Meh.
Perfect. And last we left off in the city of Dragonsby, after a night of protecting themselves against cultists who had been effectively just causing commotion. No real actual harm outside of a bit of property damage, and attempting to jump people who were outside their homes, and finding out very quickly after fucking around that Serenity was not a person to attempt to jump. Leaving everyone in a state of...
These civilians. Take these civilians by surprise. That's not a fucking civilian, Gary!
Which left things tumultuous, especially since Fidget is currently unconscious. Not necessarily asleep, just awake elsewhere. While attempting to figure things out, Artemis has had two different discussions with the brothers about the relationships of everyone in the party, which have been handled? Question mark. Meanwhile, Aurelius and Serenity went out looking for this elusive guardian of the city, only to be attacked by more cultists, and subsequently saved is not the right word for this here. It would definitely be more akin to assisted, as the cultists likely didn't have too much that they could actually do against them. But the cultists were accosted by other individuals.
Look, considering how many there were, I'd say saved.
Only if you want to.
Yeah.
Which they were...
I don't need saving. I am the savior.
Peak barbarian energy. But these people who assisted them turned out to be people who were working for Lerilanus, who turns out to be a dragon, garbed with a half mask of gold, various different bits of plates, and even gold on the back of their claws, who addressed them very coyly, very understandingly, before asking if they wished to take this discussion back to the city to hear them out more, as this is Sorry, my computer was like, you want to do a thing in the middle of it. Stop it. Stop that. With you guys heading back to town.
God, I thought it was just me. My
No, I
dog
didn't
was out on me.
Both me and Kendall having a existential crisis in the back.
My Discord likes to shit out on me a lot.
Hopefully it will cease to do that. But considering where we left off last time, second here, let me just pull something up real quick. So here.
There's the voice again.
Hey, can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Yee.
Good, good. 'Cause I finished the description. Don't know what happened there.
We didn't hear most of it.
I think that fuck off, Copilot. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Son of a bitch. It's probably because I moved that it's like,
I heard-
hey, we discovered new things. Stop it. But yeah, I finished up with you guys had gone and excuse me, met with Lerilanus, a dragon who is currently being escorted by you and those underneath them to, well, connection to the server's been interrupted. Why? Can you hear me, guys? Oh. Son of a bitch. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
You can hear us, hon. There we go. I was gonna say, don't worry, it's a new
It-
setup. You got to get things working again.
The Ethernet cord decided to apparently be like, maybe we'll let you hear, but maybe we won't. But I switched it over to the Wi-Fi, so hopefully that'll help. Question mark.
Ugh. Slight robot-y for a second there.
You
Ugh.
lagged a little bit with your voice, but I think it's just your computer readjusting to the Wi-Fi. Because you sound fine now.
Yeah, my my thing is also attempting to reconnect. I knew that moving was going to have
You're
issues, but I didn't know this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
I mean,
you
I
work through the
should've.
issues.
Yeah, I should have known, but the screaming becomes external eventually.
Are you sharing? Is anyone else using anything Wi-Fi heavy where you are?
It shouldn't be Wi-Fi heavy. They're playing music. That's basically it, or at least they were. Don't hear anything at the moment.
Yeah, that wouldn't do it anyway.
Okay.
Well, we're recording it, and it says that it's still recording, so the hardware is still working. Just the software is being.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're roboting.
Let me leave and come back.
Okay.
I doubt this
there,
has
huh?
helped, but hello.
Hello.
Huh?
Hello. How am I? How am
Hello.
I now?
It seems okay.
Fingers crossed on that.
One more time.
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
You're good.
Did you see the message I sent?
Besides the
Did you not get the other one? DMs?
Are you sure it's sent?
because we just saw the
Yeah. I sent a hug emoji.
I did see the hug
So did
emoji.
I. Oh, now it just sent.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
It was actually a message to me. Now I know why I was so confused.
Oh, it had me playing with the music and whatnot, fine. And then it was just like, we have decided you no longer deserve to be here. And just kind of pushed me out.
Rude.
Good, music's fine. So.
If you hear some rattling, I'm trying to get my diamonds into a little file line.
That's fine.
My little beads.
You're fine.
Oh, those things.
The first place we'll start.
It's like a branding paint.
Well, the first place we'll start is not here technically, but within
Over there.
the locket.
So,
Let him talk.
As you're sitting back in the grass, you know that you're not physically here. Physically, you can't feel this, but if this is a mental exhaustion, it is physically exhausted you.
Okay.
You have prided yourself on being very quick on changing up your moves and status as needed. And your patron is not fighting you themselves. But when the puppet that they are moving around with can kind of just suddenly be yanked away to go do something else, it definitely causes a bit of whiplash where you're just like, wait, we're in the middle of something, only for them to come lancing back at you, forcing you to grit your teeth and spin yourself in ways that you know you can do. Flexibility wise, this is not impossible, but the practice, the mental of actually doing it, you know you've never tried to do this before. And that's that you can feel that exhaustion. That feeling of just being worked out.
There's probably some familiarity in that with how her dad used to train her. So I can see it.
After a little bit of just laying there, your patron suddenly is looming over you. Just this impressive visage that slowly squats down, just kind of leans over, just like, well, you kept up really well. How you feeling?
I fight, that's what I do.
Ah, yes, but I didn't ask about that. I asked how you're feeling.
To be honest,
Mm.
this is the first time I felt like myself in a bit.
Good. You deserve to feel like yourself. You deserve to feel like... what's the best way to put it? Because you're not in control. Let's be honest with ourselves. You're not in control. But you're in control of yourself. You found something that you can hold on to, yeah?
You can put it like that, yeah?
I can put it like that. How would you put it then?
Still very unsure about everything.
Mm-hmm. And?
To be honest, I'm just glad I'm able to rest for the first time in months.
Oh, goodness. Don't get me wrong, I love the tension. It's great. Builds character. Having a moment or two, though, just to kind of listen. There's a faint breeze kind of whips through. No sound of animals, nothing like that. Nothing like that since the first time you got sent here. And in all honesty, you don't imagine that there will be those kinds of sounds. Not here. but the wind, just a moment of just peace of its own way, of its own sort. After a moment, he kind of like just wipes his nose for a second, just like, ah. See, that makes me understand why devils are out to claim bits of this world. Jealousy's a hell of a drug.
That's
Demons.
one way to put it, yeah.
Demons, though. Demons want to destroy everything. They don't care who gets in the way. And honestly, if you pay me well enough, I understand. I'll say I see your views, but I want a piece. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be something that I actively do anything in. Just a piece of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking that from you. We already have our agreement.
Okay.
Just a piece. If my piece of the world is a battleground where I can fight and live and breathe, like what I showed you, isn't that something?
Yeah,
Isn't it grand?
it is. And she's just kind of looking up at the odd heart to her brain to imagine sky as if it is the most comforting thing as they talk.
Your body's still going to need a bit to recuperate. Don't know how much longer. Your friends up there are looking to heal you, but magic don't work like that. Don't get me wrong. You keep putting magic into something, something's going to happen, but not necessarily to you.
Wouldn't be the first time I'm different.
Fair enough.
And she'll like sit up and like crack her neck a little bit, going, "Is there any more lessons you would like to teach me today? Or is it still the same day? I can't tell."
Still the same day. Honestly, you've been fighting for what feels like hours and hours, but it's not been nearly that long. You can only train your mental, how you see things, how you react to things. It doesn't. You will physically have to work on it yourself, but for every bit of time spent here, it's helping you focus, giving you calm. Out there, it's taking its time. And probably for the best, honestly. If you wake up 2 days from now, that'll be when you wake up. We'll get back to work when you ask to get back to work. Until then, take a break.
I mean, even I can say our group needs a little bit of downtime. We've been running since our feet hit the ground.
Well,
even when we're supposed to be resting, we ain't resting, so.
Ugh. Gross. Well, I'm sure that along the way you'll find another place, little village like that. Oh, what was that one little place before Molten Hole? Lovely little village. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but like a place like that, but without bandits coming in that's ruined the festival and whatnot. Oh, good place. I don't remember.
Oh, you mean when I had to go to the Feywild?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
True.
But I mean, I get what you mean. There was a little bit of reminding me of home there. Small little town. Farming community feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm a little homesick after a couple of years.
You thinking of going back?
No, because if I go to Corvin, my head's on a platter for D'Artes, and I ain't doing that.
It's on a platter right now. Right now. I don't think you realize just how much you stand out, even among people like D'Artes. I'm not saying jump him right now, but one day your past will be either a distant memory, something that is coming up to try and grab you while you're unawares, or something that you walk up to and throw off a roof. That's a fun little image, isn't it? Throwing D'Artes off a roof.
I mean, I think D'Artes or his kid, but right now his kid is actually being made to be a janitor. So, you know, I'll take the small victories where I can.
Keep him as a janitor for as long as you want. That's no problem to me. What was that? Your friend Tank. Pogo. Yeah, throw him off the roof and then jump on him. I like
That
one.
was just one of them. We'd never named this one, but see, Tank, he's got some quickness to him, but I've got more speed and I can move through crowds a bit better. And if somebody was to be running away from us, he would just throw me at him. Through the crowd, it was a lot of fun. Especially with the cape rustling in the wind behind me.
That is very fun.
Our job was to intimidate, and you gotta admit, that could be intimidating. And I'm pretty sure that's part of what my issue is too. I'm used to being intimidation. I'm used to just being spooky. But I has a new job title. I've got more responsibilities and I don't want to let anyone down. Especially Von Sterling, seeing as he's been more of a father to me in a few years than my father ever was. I know, I'm putting a lot of unnecessary stress on myself. But it's part of one of the reasons why I say in here I can finally relax.
I mean, the only way you're going to unstress yourself is to uncoil that ball of stress in you. And I found that the only ways to do that are to engage in outrageously violent bits of combat or actually talking it the fuck out. I hate the second one, but some people that are into it, so I've learned to listen.
If I were to talk about it and everything, I'd have to go back to Waybreak. And I'm needed here in Dragonsby.
I mean, is that your problem right now? No, the Dragonsby stuff. Obviously, that's your problem because you're here. But like the other stuff.
Needing to go back to Waybreak?
Yeah. Is that today a problem? Like an
It's
immediate...
a problem. I have a feeling that will be with me for a bit. All of my family's back there too.
Okay.
I hadn't seen my little brother in 8 years. And I got a little bit of time with him. My mom's there. I hadn't seen her in just as long. My dad, I could take or leave. But,
Fair, fair. Well, far be it from me to tell you not to go see anyone for whatever reason.
I have to atone. Yeah, laugh it the fuck up.
Oh, you're serious? Atone for
Yes.
what?
The kind of daughter and sister I was.
Okay, the kind of daughter you was based off of the actions of your parents.
One of them.
Your mother could have spoken up. Let's be honest. Let's be real here. I'm not putting blame on her, but she has a voice. Come on.
She is also injured.
A voice does not
And,
have anything to do with an injury.
her whole situation is technically illegal.
Ooh, now I'm interested.
Bards aren't supposed to have children.
No.
My mom has two.
Well, she's damn good at what she does then. Well, sorry, was that crass?
I think just a little, but I understand it. My dad and all of his flaws, and this is not me trying to put him on a good light. He knows what he's done, and he can't really, make good on things just for this. But in all that he's done, at least I think he's been trying to keep my mom alive this entire time. Out of love.
Sure. You'll have to understand, love is not something I'm intimately familiar with.
Well, you saw what happened with the person the last time I said I loved them and what that turned into. So,
Yeah, that's neither here nor there, really. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But
yeah, now I'm dating the law, so that's fun.
I mean, on the plus side, that means you can say you fucked the law.
And the law won.
Did it really? Oh man, I I really hope that you don't think that you've lost.
No, I was just trying to finish the. Never mind.
It's a song, I'm aware. We both made the reference, but don't think you've lost. I like to think of you more as a victor with more long-term goals.
Long-term goals that I'm still not very sure what they are.
Write a list. You got time here. If you don't remember the list, well, then those things that you thought of weren't worth doing.
I might actually do that.
Hell yeah.
Because I've been meaning to write pros and cons of a few things for a bit. I mean, I can't write though, so that might be an issue.
Right, and it gave you the ability to read, not to write. That is an issue. Pop it. You see one of the individuals kind of toddle over. Transcribe for her, please. And they just slowly sit down, reach over, grab a pen, and just like wait. See, I fixed the problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take your time, think it out before you actually put anything to words. Fair?
Fair.
Good.
No rash decisions on my part. Because, I don't do that kind of thing.
I know, but if in this case, make as many rash decisions as you want. Making a decision that you're not going to commit to is completely fine. After all, the rash decision is deciding, I want to kill that guy in 2 years. By 2 years, you may have forgotten that you were going to do that.
That joke went right over your head, didn't it?
Oh, did it? Oh, goodness.
I am nothing but rash decisions.
Ah, good. Good. Sorry,
But the fact
that's
that you
all.
agreed that I don't make rash decisions makes me need to reconsider everything I know about myself.
Fair. Being fair, though, I think that your decisions are sound. I don't know what your friends think about your decisions or your enemies think about your decisions. Actually, I'd love to know what your enemies think about your decisions, because that would be such a silly conversation to have.
I don't do much talking when I'm hitting things.
I know, but again, it'd be fun to know what they think you're thinking. If they're like, okay, I can totally understand where she's coming from, only to find out that no, they don't.
Well, you said I've got some time here,
As much as you need.
so I'll put my thoughts to paper, so to speak.
Sounds good. Take your time. Enjoy it. Relax. Rest. And remember. Remember everything. Because at the end of the day, there's the people who say forgive and forget. I respect it. And I vehemently disagree.
Oh, I never forget.
If you let
And
go
I
of
never
something,
will.
Good. If you let go of something, sure, it'll be a healthier way to handle it. But holding a grudge reminds you that at one point they were, in fact, worthy of your hatred. And seeing them again, if you just forgive them and try and believe that they're going to turn their life around just because you weren't there, they're going to have to prove it before you let that go. And sometimes it's better if they just die before that happens.
I think you hit the nail on the head with something there.
Wonderful. I'm glad that I'm actually being able to nail anything these days. But yet I'm
Phrasing.
Phrasing. What in the world did they change nailing since I've been in here?
What is your definition of nailing?
Pinning something to a wall and driving a stake through it.
Yeah, no, it's been changed.
To what?
Sex.
Really?
Well, it's one of the breeds. One of them, yeah.
Huh. You know, I don't know if I can see it, but at some point, I'm sure someone will introduce me to what exactly is meant by that, and I will both understand and either be horrified or intrigued. I don't know which I want more.
Just because Fidget is an asshole, she puts her finger to her nose and says, "Not it," and looks to the puppet.
They look at you for a moment like, huh? And then they slowly look over and it's just like, uh-oh. But the finger's just like waves to him. They wave to him off like, no, not you. Looks over and is like, hey, stands up and walks away. You see this unwanting person just looking around just like, what? Seeing them walk over just like, oh no. As they wander off, the puppet slowly looks back to you, looks back to the paper and just waits and we can leave it there if you want.
Give me time to actually think of what
You
Fidget
don't.
would put down.
You don't even need to put it down. Like I said, this time for Fidget to put things down. If you want to actually write it down, you can. But this time, if it's something she remembers or not, that is for you to decide. Give you time to really feel it out, you know?
Sounds good.
Okay. In which case, we can, if you believe you're done
Yeah,
here.
we can be done
Okay.
with this.
Cool.
Who should
Kendall,
I put
stop
it on?
It'll be funny.
Sorry, I was muted for a reason.
I'm aware.
I turned off my turned off my mic.
Candle.
Which
Oh, you're good.
song? Oh, I should put it on the thoughtful back.
Yep.
Going back to thoughtful. Do.
And all here trying to feed Evictus's fucking habits. Fuck off with this!
If I'm not an enabler, I don't know what I am.
You know what? Fair enough. Understandable, have a nice day.
Okay, well,
I thought this was the Jurassic World starting bit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who put this on?
Candle.
yes.
What is Artemis doing?
Well, Artemis got therapy again and ate food, and then she's going back up into Fidget's room. She's not gonna do any more magic, but she's going to like sit near her and make her a new reading book. Because she doesn't want her to be alone when she wakes up.
Okay.
And she's also like thinking really hard about what both Tank and Velinor have been talking to her about, and she's come to a couple of conclusions.
Okay. You're at this for a good bit. Probably able to get down probably a bit more than you realize based off of the fact that you're probably focused on it in a way that you don't notice fully the passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear a knock at the door. As Tank peeks his head in and is just like,
And she'll look over at him. We're not taking solicitors, thank you.
oh,
Then she'll just give him a smile.
requests.
Come in.
No, you come here.
Why?
Serenity and Aurelius and friends?
She is going to switch to Elvish. Who?
Like, like you see like Velinor slowly like peek up over the little book that they're reading next to the. Then like look like what the fuck, and then just Tank just in Elvish just like, look, I don't know how to. Friends, people they came back with. A dragon?
Oh, alright. Alright. She'll start to get up, like dust herself off, set the papers aside. Alright, do you want to lead the way or do you want to stay here?
Come on. Kind of switch back to comment. You stay with Fidget? Velinor kind of looks at him like, yes. Okay. Gives a thumbs up. Yeah, I had mentioned back in the Feywild that the idea that elves have effectively a southern drawl is is canon. That is a thing.
Look, it's been a while.
One of my favorite little tidbits, just like looking on Twitter, just like, oh, what? Hold on a second. The idea that southern drawl elves, yes.
Oh my god, she's Southern Belle.
Why do you think I was so happy about it?
Kendall, it is now your civil duty to say bless your heart at least once.
No.
You will not understand it.
I'll learn Elvish eventually. Don't test me.
Will you?
I will test you. It'll be written. You'll have to study.
God damn it!
Tank will lead the way. And neither of them are in the room. There's a few other people who are like peeking out curiously, and you would note that most of them look like they have some kind of emblem on them. Probably the paladin people, more than the townsfolk, who are almost treating it like it's more like a, oh, okay, it's Tuesday kind of occurrence.
Okay. She's going to make her way over, kind of look over Serenity and Aurelius, and then let her stare land on their new friend.
They are outside, so as you go outside and you see them,
Okay.
you check them over. You guys are mostly fine, right?
Let me look.
I could have fucked you up more.
Yeah.
It could be more on fire.
That could be more on fire? Okay, I'll remember that for later.
You took like a fifth of my health, roughly.
Oh, good. That's actually really good for a barbarian.
I'm at 98 out of 126.
So she's
It
a
is
little
fifth,
battered,
isn't it?
a little bruised, a little scraped.
And how does Aurelius look?
With his eyes, I'd hope.
No, he only sees with his mouth. We all know this.
Okay.
No, seriously, how does he look?
Uh, just very determined and serious.
Okay, does he look
As
hurt?
if he feels like his time is being wasted. That's the vibes you're getting.
Ah, he's exasperated. Got it. Is he injured?
I mean, there's a few like bits of blood pouring from his shoulder, or maybe the prosthetic is a bit damaged, but otherwise he doesn't even seem to be drawing much attention to it.
Okay, they're both mostly fine.
Mostly.
Yeah.
They're not bloody. They're just a little scraped.
Did your investigating go well?
I think it went at least somewhat fine. Considering. She looks back at the dragon.
No, please. I don't need any more bread today. Although I will take some of these cinnamon rolls you say you've been working on. They look delectable.
Adi?
Yes.
Dawn, remind me what the dragon's name is, because I think I remember it, but I'm not sure.
Right. In the opening, I was cut off as I was saying the name. Probably for you guys.
Starts with an L, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. Luralonis the Beautiful.
Adi, this is Miss Luralonis the Beautiful is her title. I'm not sure what you prefer to fully go by.
That'll do. The miss is unnecessary. The title, the Beautiful, suffices for that.
Renee just looks at Artemis. She's so fucking out of her element.
And you see this dragon kind of shift and like adjust their wings a bit. You can, as you do, you see strands of magic
Madam,
across their
this
wings.
is-
Good.
Oh,
This is my girlfriend Artemis.
Oh, wonderful.
hello. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine.
Are you a friend of Godai's?
G'day. More specifics.
Powerful mage.
More specifics.
Wizard's currently stuck in a crystal, embodying a ferret.
A white one.
What? That part I have no understanding of. A mage in a crystal?
Very old.
Very formal, too.
Likes to plant traps within towers.
Has several different towers that connect to each other.
Oh, do you know runes in eyes?
What?
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh, I bet he could tell you a
yes.
lot more about it. See, points over to the side. See that area over there?
Yes.
Well,
She'll look.
it's pointing towards the tower, the one that you guys would probably guess is Godai's tower, based off of the magical shenaniganry.
Right.
Well, I had some people looking at it because I have a personal vested interest in a few magical bits and bobs. And when we were going through it, we realized that there was actually a way into the tower. I was quite pleased with that, up until we had to get into a heated duel with the one known as Runes and Eyes. After which we explained a bit to him. He explained that he had awakened or woken up, whatever it was, and that he was there to ensure the safety of everything within it. We just said we had no idea what was in it, so how would we know not to come in? To which they said, the fact that you're not supposed to come in? To which we said, well, that just sounds like more of a reason for us to come in. He seemed perturbed by that, but we eventually made it understood that we were there as intellectuals, people who wanted to understand things, and he was waiting for... You know what? He might have been waiting for a Godai. I'm honestly not sure. You'd have to talk to him.
Okay.
When they say that, there's a clear look, and it's a draconic face. No real, normal expressions to look for, but they give a covert wink, and you get the impression that as soon as they started talking about this, they were aware, and they're trying to get you to talk to them because either they know more or they don't feel it's within their purview to discuss it further.
Artemis is curious, but she's not going to press it while they are outside.
Is there a way for you to shrink down?
Normally, yes, but some of the bits of my wings aren't currently being helpful. They're a little sputtery, we'll say.
Is that what the strands are about?
Ooh. They
The strings.
They open their wing slightly, and you hear a few people kind of go, "Oh!" as they realize, "Oh, we got to get out of the way of that." But they hold out their wings, and for you too, Aurelius and Serenity, you can see the wings with the bits of clockwork, they're very clearly held together in such a way that allow it to work. But again, there's holes in between places where it's okay. For you, Artemis, you can see that there are strings moving between different cogs. Basically, there's a framework of mechanical pieces that is physically there, physically visible, very understandable, but very much based off of the movement of the dragon. But underneath it, there is a second framework of magical strings, like a weave across their wing. But with the wing that they hold out, you notice that there is a mechanical piece that is not... It's not that it's sputtering, it's nothing like that, but there is a very clear bit of it. It's turning too slow, And part of that is because it's not aligned with the weave as they hold out their wing. Honestly, it looks
Would
like
I
it's
be able to fix that?
It looks like it would be a simple fix. It would just be a matter of just asking to do it.
She'll kind of step forward and make a gesture toward her wing. I may be able to fix that.
Really? I'd love
Yes.
to see you do so.
Yeah, that just made her instantly paranoid for a minute. Can I roll an insight on that?
Absolutely.
Ooh!
Ooh!
There's clear. There's no ulterior motive, nothing like that. But there's clear personal investment, personal interest, perhaps even a bit of. How do I put this? Desire. Not in a romantic or any way like that. More of a material, like, ooh, what do you know that I don't?
I'm gonna put you in her hoard like a nice little gem.
Well, she's very collectible.
Funko Pop Party!
Yo, I was about to say, Artemis is my
Bobblehead.
favorite collectible.
Just a bobblehead. She'll nod and take another step closer. What would she need to fix it?
Arcana check.
Okay.
Okay.
26.
It does take a little bit. Probably because when you're trying to move part of it, you realize the reason why it's out of whack is that you need to move a few pieces a little bit. Basically, the size is just a little bit off. Must be new. There's a moment when you have to take it like fully out and like work with it just a little bit. So when you put it back in, you can realign the weave ever so slowly until it just almost feels like it clips in. Just moves right across it. As soon as it does, it starts moving and everything else just starts ticking away. And you can see visibly as the weave finishes and just kind of warps across it. Everyone else can see the spaces in between the wing have a faint, almost prismatic sheen now. Like almost like a, not rainbow, but prismatic is actually the word I wanted to use. Multicolored, like a wave of light. As the wave of light passes through it, there's a thin membrane that causes it to be this luminescent coloration. As they see that, they kind of pause and they wait for you to step back and they test the wings slowly. Nothing changed about their wings movement, nothing like that, but there's a clear difference as they like lift their wing up, flap it down, lift the wing up, and as they flap it down, there's like this rush of air as magic pulses across them, and they take the form of a woman. A prismatic shawl across their shoulders, reflecting various bits of light across it as they slowly look themselves over. Again, the bits of gold plating, like the half mask, and the bits across the fingers, like talonous claws, as they look themselves over before looking to you all, looking directly to Artemis. That is quite impressive. My goodness, that is so much better. I had been wanting to make sure that I could come back here without causing a ruckus, and lo and behold, if I had come back yesterday, I could have had this problem solved. My apologies. Please, this is the inn you're staying at?
Yes.
Let me buy you something. Food, drink, whatever you want. I'd love to discuss more of this with you.
I never say no to food.
Have
Good.
you eaten today?
I've been eating
Okay, good.
all day.
I understand
Fidget
that.
hasn't woken
quite
up
well.
yet.
No? You didn't mention a fidget.
Hmm?
Is that a pet?
No, it's a
No.
friend.
Various pets are friends. You're going to have to be much more specific.
A human friend.
Oh, my apologies. People give pet names to their pets. And I hadn't realized that was... Oh, no. You know, it's a Von Sterling thing. My apologies. When she says Von Sterling, it is in a hushed tone, and I understand the conspicuousness of saying their name. I'm not saying it loudly in the street, just like, I understand. My apologies. That's on me. I didn't realize they had taken that as their named moniker. That is quite lovely. Oh, Fidget tells a whole lot about them just by that one little name. Oh, kind of like they almost do this little shiver of delight. Just, ooh, I like that. Give a little clap. Now, please, inside with us all, please. I do want a little bit as well. Let's go see. Let's see here. Is Boris still working here? I believe it was Boris. He hasn't passed it on yet, has he?
I don't know.
I believe it was someone named Boris.
Good. Furbolg gentleman. Lovely, wide gentleman. With the little bit of... What do they call it? The little patch under the chin. I'm sure I'll remember. Goatee? Ah, yes, that. The little mole under his eye. Wonderful, wonderful. Steps inside. Boris! And you see Boris kind of pause, look up like, Levelonis, I wasn't I know you weren't. I'm just here to get some things. Do you require anything that I can provide you with to ensure that you're compensated for the troubles of me coming here today? I understand, he's about to speak, and she's silenced him. I understand. There's so much more that I could be doing right now. I just want to have a little chat. I'm having a great problem, and they found an even greater solution. I want to make sure that things are going well. Yes. Sure. Would you like a mead? Yes, I would take it in a cask, but I am small enough that I can use hands, but a big, if you please, a big mug. Of course, I can get you a flagon. A flagon! Yes, that sounds delightful. Please. Thank you. Come along now. I think I used that word right. Yeah, flagon.
Sorry, I'll look at Artemis and give just an ever so slight shrug.
Artemis just kind of gives her a very confused stare, but there's just Serenity knows Artemis well enough to recognize when she's a little skeptical of someone.
She'll lean down to whisper in her ear, "This is the protector of the town. It's also the dragon that Von Sterling wanted me to speak to."
A little nod.
She helped us out when we got cornered by cultists, so...
That makes her gaze soften a little. Free food.
Exactly. Speaking of which, what you did to that wing, you'll have to tell me later. At the moment, she gestures inside. We still need to talk there.
Yes, I will explain to you the intricacies of the magic that I just did.
Please and thank you. She'll give her a quick kiss before she heads into the tavern.
Okay. She sets herself up. It's like in a seated table that's slightly elevated, which is where one second here. There we go. And they sit down. They kind of just, again, pat the table, No seat next to them, just the table itself for you guys to come join.
I believe it's rude to sit on the table.
I've sat on many. I didn't realize it was so rude. But then again, etiquette has not always been my specialty. She
I
goes
tried to
and
sit on
sits next near the dragon.
I attempted to sit on the dining room table once. My mother proceeded to throw a coconut at me. I don't know where she
Yes,
got the
well, I
coconut.
suppose. Well, I guess you need a mother to have that kind of discipline.
She'd like you.
Aurelius just kind of like at a distance, listening and just kind of like smiles.
I think she'd like you, Audie.
I don't know.
Just-
Mothers have a tendency to look at me like I'm trouble.
That's why she'd like you.
I hope she would. From all you tell me, she sounds like she's a lot like you.
A tad bit calmer than her.
You're calm?
My point exactly. She's grinning. She'll pull up a chair so she can sit at the table.
Sorry.
What are you laughing about?
that little... You're calm?
She is not calm by any means, but she is significantly calmer than her parent. Dad's the calm one. Mom's the one who will burn the barn down out of spite.
Average grandma behavior.
She's also the one to ask for rank kiss.
Well, Artemis doesn't think she can, but she can certainly try.
I don't think I have the proper equipment, but I'm willing to give it a go. Meanwhile, Serene in the background. Excuse you?
Well, they'll have to try many times. Takes a lot of experimentation.
God damn it.
Yeah, she'll sit down at the table.
Do you have a preference on what you'd like? They have some wonderful... Have you ever had an egg cooked in oil? Hot oil,
What?
mind you.
I think so, but I could always have another.
Boris, I don't believe they have tried your fried eggs. That's what you call it, frying, right? Yes. Yes, it's like this thing that they do. Again, I can't quite get the hang of it myself, but then again, my hands aren't always this dainty.
I know it's not what I'm thinking. I know it's not. But my brain bought up like a fucking batter-wrapped egg, and I'm like, that is the most American fucking thing, I swear to God.
It is. As someone who is not American, I can confirm that sounds
It's
like
like-
the most American thing.
It's like the deep-fried Twinkie.
Oh my fucking
I've had one of those. They're
Rogue
not bad.
Zark, you didn't know that existed.
Just wait till he finds out about deep fried butter.
God. For fuck's sake.
Fucking-
You're lying to me, that's not real.
No, she's not.
I'm not lying. They have that at fairs. They will batter a stick of butter and they will fry it.
As much as I would love to continue the slander of America, I actually looked it up, and Romans used fried eggs as dessert with honey, apparently.
Dessert. I mean, I guess Japan uses omelets as desserts. I've heard of.
Average Roman behavior.
The only
Artemis will eat her eggs.
yeah, the only eggs that are fully known to have been used before that were like ostrich eggs by Egyptians. So you know.
I want to know who got their sternum kicked in trying to take an ostrich egg.
You think they got
Probably
the
someone
kicked
who
in?
hit an ostrich in the head with an
Yeah.
arrow.
Blech!
Or
Also-
the sling?
Bronze Age, like they would have been riding around in chariots. Like
Fair
horse
enough.
and chariot, archer and back, or spearman. Yeah, easy. GG.
We found his Roman Empire.
Look, we're always thinking about Rome, and fried eggs are something I would love to learn how to actually cook myself, so I could be like, ah, good, we're having a nice Roman dessert.
I
I'm gonna-
actually never think about Rome.
I think about D&D.
I'm gonna find a recipe for you.
All right, let's get back to
Yes,
it.
but- They do bring back some fried eggs with a little bit of like sprinkled salt and pepper on it. Just something nice to eat. It's very light, very not super heavy sort of meal. So it's very easy for you to still get down already without having to worry about how much you've eaten already. Which you're not worrying about. You're still thinking, man, I could really go for some more.
Yeah, it's always I could always eat more, or I could always have some more on me.
Right.
Because she doesn't always have access to food, and when she does have access to food, she goes a little overboard.
God, I feel that pain on a molecular level.
Food insecurity.
Yup. Brittany's like, she's probably already halfway through the one she did get, and she looks mildly embarrassed once she realizes that she just gulped down this like a lizard does a slab of meat.
You didn't even savor it. My goodness. You must be hungry then. We'll get her another, please.
I savored it. I just eat quick.
I didn't say that like it's
Well,
a
she
bad
did
thing.
just get out of. Well, she did just get out of a fight. That is hungry work.
True.
You'd still hear Victor screaming at me.
Who?
Separate personality that I have a tendency to just call that. Sorry, I got lost in my own brain and wrapped around that sentence. That was very weird. Let me rephrase that. Second
fine.
personality that I get while fighting.
Oh, you're one of those. Are you druidic? No, you're to the other thing. I'll think about it later.
I fight using my rage.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people do. But is it
It's
useful?
something else entirely. She fights as if Aurelius thinks for a moment. And this is me looking up the name of the fucking gorilla demon in
Barlgura.
Bulgura. Yeah, that's Aurelius kind of says she fights like a Bulgura, unrelenting, with a ferocity unseen by most.
Why do you make it sound so romantic and yet so violent?
Aurelius gestures to himself.
That does not answer my question.
I am romantically aggressive? Question mark?
Fair enough.
That sounds about right, considering you.
Yeah, that sounds very accurate.
Continues eating her egg.
Mm.
This is quite good.
I know, right? Again, eating it with a bit of delicacy allows for one to savor the moment, especially when you can just get the
Yes. I suppose utensils are useful for this part.
Why? Your hands are useful. They're like ripping it apart with their hand like it's bread.
Mm.
You're already halfway through having done nothing but eat with her hands.
You know, that's a good idea. And she'll just kind of set the forks as hard as eating with her hands again.
I was supposed to eat this with a utensil?
Usually that's how eggs are done, but
It depends on the
suppose-
eggs
yeah,
and the
it's also
establishment.
if they're and if the utensils are available.
And if the establishment is going to bother to reprimand you for it, which most places here will understand that if you're eating with me, it's fine. I don't mind how you eat so long as you're eating something. goodness, too many people nowadays have been having to deal with things like war. Cormundum has been fighting it so much. It's one of the reasons why I've set myself up here, so that when people try and come in and say, you must come to war, they usually say, well, we have to talk to our leader about that. And I just say no. People tend to stop trying to force their hand when they recognize that no means no.
Well, I think they must stop their hand because you are an entire dragon.
That makes sense.
I mean, being an entire dragon has its perks, but some people still believe otherwise. You'd not believe how many people have tried otherwise.
Oh, I would. I absolutely would.
You'd be surprised the amount of.
I literally have lived it, so no, I really wouldn't be. You're both laughing like I'm unaware of exactly how people can be. And yet, I can't get enough of them. I can't help but be drawn back to them.
People are as varied as the vegetables you grow in your garden. Some are
And
They're
right,
charming
some
in
are
there.
awful.
They are charming in their audacity.
And yet,
Audacity.
despite their differences, they are so very, very predictable in other ways.
Is that why you're so easy to read?
Possibly.
Only in some ways. And then you remember that the phrasing, if a people only exist so long, if they're young, we'll say, they go out of their way to do so much more and be seen in that glorious bonfire of passion. And I adore that. Don't get me wrong. When you live a long time, that passion still burns, but they have time. I have time.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
can I ask you an odd but curious question?
Depends on the question, but I have to hear it first. Go ahead.
Is your horde people?
I mean, I keep treasure as well. What am I? Foolish? But to an extent.
Are the people who were with you part of your horde? The ones blessed with surprising gifts?
Some of them.
I may have to talk to you later about something, if you don't mind.
Repeat the question. I'm not sure I understood your intent.
I'm curious about these draconic gifts they have. And if there's a potential way that I could apply it myself.
Are you looking to speak alone and discuss this further?
Not at the moment. We have more important things to do than my own curiosity.
I'd imagine your own curiosity could be valuable.
You give me too much credit.
I give everyone as much credit as I feel they deserve.
She rubs her arm.
I'd say if you wish for me to give you too much credit, prove to me that you aren't worth it, and I'll then give you less credit. But until such time, gives a little shrug, like,
I do what I want. But
So shove the rest of the egg into her mouth. Well, thank you for the food.
Yes. I was going to ask you a quick question. I understand you are about to scuttle off to do other things, but I did have a question for you. You said you're able to see strings.
Yes.
Is that your specialty?
I don't believe so.
No. Just a side project. I've only ever met
It
maybe...
has been.
Go ahead.
It has been a side effect since a visit to the Feywild.
Ooh, no, that would help with that. That would. I try to avoid the Feywild myself. Too much connection to it, honestly.
I understand.
Both of the queens have had interactions with me, and while all were pleasant, others disagreed.
Understandable. The queens?
Oh yes, that though might be a bit of a Feywild monarchical discussion, and while I would love to talk your ear off about it, I'm sure that, as your compatriot here said, you don't have the time to get into all of those details. It's extensive and quite complex.
It sounds extensive and quite complex, as many governments are.
Yes.
We're probably going to be here for a little while. So I don't see why we can't have those conversations unless you have important things to do with your time.
She glances at Serenity.
You two are more than welcome to talk. Don't let me stop you.
Oh no, I have to go and watch over Fidget.
How is she doing, by the way? Any better, or...?
She's better, but she's not woken up.
I'm gonna go try something.
I think there has been enough put into her. We just need to wait for her.
She nods. I will trust your judgment.
But the strings.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks back over to the dragon. Is it uncommon for magic users to not see them?
It is common for them to not see them. It's uncommon for them to see them. Not because they can't, but because it implies a different type of focus. Not a spell focus, mind you, a focus on the magic itself. Some people have a broad focus. They need to see everything in order to understand the broad strokes of it, but that can mean that they miss out on tiny details. The finer details, the ability to see such strings, usually means that they have the ability to see tiny, intricate moving parts, much like how you saw my wings looked to be, though they can occasionally miss broader strokes, and thus require to be paired with those who are able to see such broad strokes, to be able to balance themselves.
Interesting. Would you be willing if I picked your brain later?
I'd be willing to have a lengthy discussion, yes.
Seems to
Thank
enjoy
you.
those.
It's not often you get to question a dragon.
True. And what of you, sir? Looks to Aurelius. Are you just here to look stoic and I'd say kind, but your eyes have more of the flightiness of a bird in a cage.
I wish to find the cause of this mist as soon as possible. I'd rather not waste time.
You need to understand that part of what we are doing here is not wasting time in the slightest. I'm getting a read on you. I'm getting an understanding of you. Do you think that I would just go, you look to be amenable, perhaps, but that doesn't mean that I like you enough? I think I'll just send you off to potentially go into a hazardous area where you could potentially die, in which point it is my fault that I sent you there, and I do have to deal with the repercussions of that, unless I don't care. But if I don't know you, then how can I care enough that you passed away? How will I care
Doesn't
enough to
matter.
not send you?
It doesn't matter so long as the town is safe.
It does matter. You want to know why?
Enlighten me.
Because a thing must be done. You agree with me on this. However, you, young, youthful, a burning beacon of flame and youth, you will pass on long before I pass on. The how is important to how I will be remembered. Because people will pass on the stories and tales to their children and to their friends and will continue to go down. The how is perhaps one of the most important parts. Getting it done by any means necessary means that I could do the greatest deeds without a care of anything else, and 100 years later find out that my actions caused irreparable harm to other people, and that is how I will be known. Do you know my moniker, my title? The Beautiful. I have been alive far longer than anyone in this room. Do you think that if I threw people at problems without care of who I sent and how they might get this done, that I would have this title? Or does it not matter to you?
What people call you do not define you, your actions do.
But your actions define you. Yes?
The current you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I have chosen to sit down and understand you. Do you want to be the person to go and fix this problem?
Where is this leading?
Answer the question.
I don't care who solves the problem, so long as it is solved.
If you
And
don't
the
care,
sooner we can...
then why are you arguing so hard about it? You would send someone else to do the job?
Relatively speaking, I am disposable. Throw me out there. Doesn't matter what happens to me. Dealt with, it's over. Everyone can go back to leading their lives.
With all due respect, you're from the north, aren't you?
His eyes go from stoic, like a stoic calm, to a slight... It's only for the slightest of moments, but I'd imagine the dragon would notice the
Flicker.
moment of the flicker of shock on his face.
Ooh. There's three places I can think of. You've got too much of a sharp chin to be from Goraline. They got more of that flat face. Might be to the west of the Colossi Walk, but to the north with that kind of mentality. Specifically wanting the mist gone, you must have seen what's out there. Now, you could be north of Tradeford. I know a few people there. Could be near Duroc Hold. But if you're near Duroc Hold, then you must be near enough to Caer Kaisur, the pit, to recognize the problem, but your mental state seems to state that you are from there, because the people there act like the pit is something to either throw yourself into, like a rat into the water, hoping that you'll either sink and get rid of the problem, or swim and get rid of a different problem. All the venom of a snake that has none, not knowing it's being strangled to death. Oh, these eggs are delicious. Another one, Boris, please.
Somebody would just exhale and shake her head.
Aurelius.
Part of us has already slipped away to go and back up to Fidget's room.
I was gonna say, at this point, if Aurelius feels like he's getting no headway with this,
Did you not hear everything that she said?
yeah, he did,
Just making sure.
but he feels like he's banging his head against a brick wall and
That's up to you.
achieving nothing.
Do you?
It's a character thing.
I'm aware.
I know what
do
I'm
you
doing.
feel? Do you feel like Aurelius feels that way?
I am of the belief that because he's not getting the answers that he's looking for, but instead answers to other random, what he feels is unnecessary information that's not directly related to his current focus, which is the mist.
Mm-hmm.
It's making no progress to solving that issue
Mm-hmm.
in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So he will turn and make his way out back to just do some manual labor to effectively
De-stress.
to de-stress, and if not, he might find someone to help him go to the bookshop, see if there's anything, any legends, any myths of any sort that can help with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because
We'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah, TLDR, his focus is the mission and nothing else, which is
No, I know.
what the dragon was saying.
Yeah. Yes. The dragon's on point.
Yeah. I know what's going on. You know what's going on. How does Aurelius not know what's going on?
He's in his own head. He's looking the wrong way. His shoelace is untied.
The dog ate his homework. His little brother was playing.
Which I suppose means that if your friend wishes to wander off, that does in fact leave us to the table, Ms.
Serenity. He looks exceptionally nervous.
Please understand, the feeling of being a mouse caught in the hands of the cat is because you know I'm a dragon. That's,
No, that's
understandable. Oh, that's not it. Enlighten me, if you will.
I have a tendency to be bashful or reserved around those that are, she air quotes this, higher in command.
Is that so?
Why are you saying that like I just gave you some horrible, horrible secret? Or juicy gossip?
I say everything like it's juicy gossip. It means people either really want to tell me more or they look at me like, what have I said? Everything is juicy gossip. Everything is worth knowing. If it's juicy gossip, that means someone wanted to hear it. Someone would want to hear it. I want to hear it.
I really think that you're making me out to be far more interesting than you think I am. Or to me, than I actually am.
Again, prove me wrong.
I'm a farmhand who fights things because she's angry.
You're a farmhand who fights things because she's angry. Kind of like makes like a excited like, go on.
There's really not much to tell.
You literally started it with the premise to a grand story and then brushed it under the rug. To understand the need to hide flame and watch a barn burst with absolute intensity because you can't see your own warmth, your own heat. The world will tell your story eventually, but I want to know it now.
I also can't exactly say anything because we have mixed company.
No, don't.
Keep glancing at the paladins more specifically.
They're over there. Why are you looking at them? They're not going to listen in. They don't care. I care.
The comfort thing as well.
Uh-huh.
Just in case they do listen in.
They won't.
How well can you sense things?
Depends.
I don't... other creatures?
Of?
Or entities? What does she mean by of? I'm sorry.
Kind of like waving her hand like this. Other entities of... Ask her that.
Fiendish nature?
Oh. I suppose I know a thing or two about it.
She'll hold her hand out to her. Well, if you can do it, then here you go.
Takes your hand, kind of just holds it for a moment, staring into your eyes. Raises her brow like, yes?
That's about what I expected. There's someone extra in my head.
Oh. I can sense him. He must be
I'm sorry,
hidden
did
by...
she say couldn't?
I could not.
Okay.
Must be masked by your presence.
Well, that's good at least. The church I was learning at put something in me. She shrugs. He's grown on me, at least.
Like a
Can be a little...
fungus?
No, 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 no.
You just hear in the back of your head, rude!
More like... like a twin soul. They combined us in hopes that we would... well, either that I would be able to use him in a fight, or that I would end up killing him. The first happened, ironically.
Huh. So what, you
Another
want him
meek
out?
shrug.
What, you want him out?
I honestly don't know anymore. I mean, at first I thought yes, but he's not awful to have in my head. He's a little bastard sometimes, but I mean, who isn't?
Is he as awful as your other friend?
He's more crass. Aurelius isn't that bad, he just...
I don't mean awful in the sense you might expect. Awful in the sense of... Have you ever watched a pot boil?
I tend not to. Watch pot never boils.
Superstition. Have you ever had frog legs?
Have I done?
You're a farmer's daughter. That's up to you.
Probably not. Probably because the first time they tried, she cried. She shakes her head no. My father tried to get me to eat them at one point, and I started sobbing.
Do you know what happens?
That's what I was called.
Do you know what happens if you are thrown into a pot of boiling water?
Are you going to go with the analogy of how the frog never feels itself boiling if you steadily turn up the heat?
Yes.
Are you saying I'm the frog?
Were we talking about you there, dear?
He looks so confused. She's so lost, this poor little creature.
Aurelius. Your friend Aurelius.
Oh.
wished he had introduced himself so I could know that from him, but it happens. That boy has been put in a pot and told that it's a pond and has been set to boil by the people he called friends.
I've been trying to get him out of the self-destructive habit. Keep on trying. But she kind of just hogs herself slightly. I have my own problems to deal with.
And you wanted help with that. Your own problems.
A friend Fidget got injured during last night with the mist. And she got injured because I was out and about. Aurelius blames me for her injury, and I can't say I blame him, because if I hadn't gone out, she wouldn't have. I need to get stronger. But getting stronger the way I am isn't working. So I need something different.
You need a paradigm shift of a sort.
I've actually never heard that word, I'm sorry.
It's... How do I put this? Have you ever looked at the ocean?
Plenty of times.
Wonderful. Have you looked at it from the waves when you are up at the beach?
He nods.
What about on a cliff?
Yeah. I have not done a cliff yet, no.
A different elevation, different part of a city.
I have done, yes.
Okay. Looking at the ocean from two different perspectives, two different places, gives you two different points of view. To shift from one to another is referred to as a paradigm shift. It's a fancy word a scholar told me about once. I do enjoy learning new things. If your friend wasn't so...
Unfortunately, I'm not as smart. I tried to, but unfortunately I'm not as smart as my allies.
At what point does a lack of knowledge become a problem?
It has to be repeated to you time and time again.
No, the lack of intellect becomes a problem when you cease to apply an attempt at intellect. You've chosen to sit at a table with me to have this discussion. Would you not say that that is a exhibition of intellect? To recognize where you are and attempt to change your outcome? Change your path? Your fate, if you will.
I consider it more tactical instinct, but if we want to view it that way, we can.
Is that not then an intelligence? An intellect?
Just gives this very weak half shrug, I suppose.
No. Roll your shoulders back, puff out your chest, chin up, and give a nod. I suppose. Goodness, you said it's tactical and then you're looking meek as a sheep.
In all fairness, you are a very powerful being, ma'am.
And you deny yourself of being as powerful as you actually are. Strange that. If I were acting any less than my station, you would be very confused, wouldn't you? You'd be wondering what my plan, what my game was if I suddenly started acting demure and meek and like I was smaller than you. You know that I am what I am, but that would throw you off, wouldn't it?
He nods. Yes, ma'am.
And yet you say you are a farm girl who fights with violence and understands a tactical understanding of how to move about in that area, and then choose to shrink away from people who are of not necessarily equal power, not strength in that regard, but you are a person who is to walk a line between arrogance and simple pride. And you are choosing to completely go in the complete opposite direction, nosediving off of a cliff into, what would you call this? Are you ashamed? Are you despondent? This isn't a humbleness or a meekness. This is... it's just plain silly is what it is.
He winces at this. Is she ashamed?
Evictus is like, do I even need to add into this? Holy shit. Pass me some of that egg.
Fuck you.
I'm hungry.
Suffer.
You're making me hungry now, damn it.
I'm hungry myself. I ate a steak and I'm still hungry.
How big was the steak?
Decent, like my side of my hand.
Damn!
I'm still hungry.
You really do got that thin boy anatomism? Fucking Jesus! Metabolism!
Metabolism.
I tried to combine anatomy and metabolism. It didn't go well.
Ah, yes. My favorite type of bodily influence. Anatomism.
Leave me alone, Zar. You fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
No, you aren't. I just... Why am I opening up to a stranger I just met?
Because I have understanding and willingness to listen. Dear, it's what I do. I am not prying. I'm not trying to do anything that is forcing you to do anything else. I'm asking very simple questions, giving very pointed responses. If you want to leave, you can leave. There's nothing holding you here, much like your friend who went out to take care of his own things. Granted, I think he was missing the point of what I was going for.
Just sighs.
Tell you what, I'll ask you instead. Is that fair?
She nods.
Do you believe that if I asked you and your group to look into the mist and attempt to help me solve this? Because while I could go out there, I don't know how long it will take. And as much as I'd love to stay out there looking into it, if they continue to attack these people, I don't want to let them. And I think protecting the people myself in midst the mist is a better endeavor than having me go out to find something that may take a while. Do you think that is selfish of me?
No.
Do you think that if I asked you and yours to find that you would be able to do so and not cause further harm? Intentionally or not?
Whatever we come across, I cannot promise that I won't be able to not harm it. I can't even promise I wouldn't want to harm it.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't harm it. Things that are cultish in nature could be good for certain, but the problem isn't their inherent capacity for good, but their apparent use in, well, harm.
kind of looking down. What do you mean by your previous question? That we would not cause more harm? Do you mean that we wouldn't make it worse?
Even if accidentally. With the understanding that going into a place of possible danger with a self-destructive mindset means that you could potentially just not care about who you are helping, who you are saving.
I'm gonna care about who I'm helping. Going in there, I had the confidence that it'd be able to be done. Artemis, you've seen her. She's genius. She's beautiful in the things that she thinks of. Aurelius, hell, despite all of his shortcomings, he is almost general levels of tactical genius. And then you have the duo Tank and Fidget. The two work so well together that any job could probably get done. I'm just... a violent little monster.
A monster?
Look at me.
Yes.
Celestial born with a demon in their head that they can't even ignore. They just let do whatever they want. I was supposed to get rid of him. I failed at becoming a paladin. I failed at getting rid of Evictus. I failed at staying in the church, being any kind of successful or useful. And now, the one thing that they taught me, how to fight, I can't even do because I'm second guessing if I should be fighting these people. And these people are actively hurting this town.
And you want to help.
Yes. No one deserves to go through this.
Do you believe that if something were to happen, you would be able to protect your friends who sat at my table? Were you to go out and attempt to figure the situation out?
I would at least be able to give them time to escape.
Not that mindset. That mindset of, I'll do it, even if it costs me my life. They won't be happy with you gone. Not if they truly love you.
Considering one of them blames me for the other's wounds, I'm sure he'd be happy.
Right now or later?
Who knows?
If he blames you for the wounds now, When the wounds heal, will he still blame you? That sounds counterproductive. The wounds have healed. In which case he has chosen to wound himself and is keeping them open. Of his own accord and volition, at which point, if he falls, that is to his own wounds.
Just looks down at her hands. I don't know what goes on in his head.
Yeah, people who don't speak make it exceptionally difficult to know what goes on in their head. There's nothing wrong with being quiet. There's nothing wrong with being contained to your own self. It's just difficult. And that's why one must learn how to be gentle, calm, but insistent, to draw out what people hide away.
Was opening up. We were making headway, but when I fucked up, now here we sit.
Are you giving up?
I don't want to.
Then don't. It sounds so simple, right?
It's nowhere near simple, but it does sound simple.
If it sounds simple to simply not give up on someone, then why are you thinking of giving up on someone?
I don't want to give up on him. I'm not giving up on him. I don't know what to do.
Don't give up on him. You already stated that's what you don't want to do. So you know what you want to do. You don't want to give up on him.
More I can do than just not trying.
Trying is the first step. You're overcomplicating something very simple.
She rubs her hand down her face.
I know. It always hurts to hear things and go, okay, but. If you have to say that each time, at what point did we lose each other?
I'm not sure anymore.
Well, you're clearly stating that you don't want to give up on him, but you're saying it's not that easy. It's so complicated. Because he doesn't want to talk to you right now, today, the day after a traumatic event, as you said? Or was it he said? One of you mentioned that your friend was hurt the other day.
We both did. I don't mind if he doesn't want to talk to me, but he came out. We had to go out to look something, and the next thing I know, he's blaming me for it, and I just.
Did he blame you?
He's not. Said if I hadn't have gone out, this wouldn't have happened.
Is that what he said? In his exact words.
Paraphrasing, but it's because of my awful memory.
Then clarify. If he still blames you and he says outright that he blames you for it, then discuss. I don't know the ins and outs of any of this. I can only tell you what I know. And what I'm letting you know is very simple. If you don't want to give up on him, don't. If you're going to give up on him, just be done with it. That's the simple choice of the matter. a far simpler choice than trying to decide who should go out and take care of this mist.
If you have faith in me, I'm willing to at least try. God knows what's out in it. You seem to have more faith in me than I do. Takes a deep breath. Right. Okay. This does going away from emotional bullshit. I still need your help.
With?
I need to get stronger. And I'm asking for your boon to do so.
To go out and attempt to assist in this endeavor?
I'm sorry, repeat that for me, Dawn.
To go out and attempt to assist in this endeavor?
In general, really, but if you can do it before we head out, then yes.
Do you believe you can do it?
Figure out the mist issue?
Yes.
Yes. I have faith in our group. It's just self-faith that's the problem.
Then I'll give you the evening to think it over. I will handle the mist at the night, and I'll let you discuss with your allies as to whether or not you'll go.
She nods.
With the understanding, again, that the how you go about this is important. It will reflect on me, and I will not have you reflecting poorly on me. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Make that as transparent to your friend Aurelius.
I will do the utmost I can to get through his thick skull.
Good. Enjoy your eggs. They are still a delicious delight. Can I get some bread for this, please? You'll honestly, putting on some bread is quite delectable.
I will take your word for it and try it.
Meanwhile, for scene transition, Aurelius goes out to split wood. That's manual labor, something to keep his hands off things, keep his hands occupied. That sound good, Zark?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
After a couple of minutes, you're getting ready to like move between things as you pause as you see another log has been set in front of you. As you pause, slowly look up, and you see Tank has lifted a log and set it in front of you just so you can keep swinging. Motions to it.
Aurelius will cut it in two, as one is wont to do with logs.
Tank will pick up one half, set it back down, and have you cut that, pick up the other, repeat. It just basically keeps grabbing logs to set in front of you, so you just, all you have to do is focus on splitting wood.
Mm.
He lets it go on for a while. Until the point that you're starting to feel a bit of that soreness from exertion. And you're not slowing down noticeably. You're still splitting the wood perfectly in half with one swing, all that jazz, but there is a bit of a strain in your inhalation and exhalation. Just that tiny bit of getting just a little bit tired. But you're insistent that you could keep going on, obviously. After all, you've gotten this far. Your mind is still racing with various thoughts. What is Aurelius thinking about? Or is he just trying to empty his thoughts, as it were?
Trying is the key word there. The best way to kind of explain it is kind of to just verbalize his thoughts. So, now introducing our new program, The Mind of Aurelius. Coming to you live from... Another piece down. Reminds me of my days back in the castle. No, focus. Why am I getting visions again? Why do I see them? I will not lose another. I cannot. Focus. Center yourself in the moment. The longer you wait, the more likely they are to get hurt again. No. Stop. Focus. If you do nothing, they will die again, and it will be your fault. At this point, I'd imagine an almost wrathful strike. It's not an intentional action. But as this piece of wood splinters, I like to imagine that the two halves, one of them actually kind of goes flying and knocks into a nearby fence type of thing. And as he notices that happening, he is suddenly brought out of this trance that he's put his body's on autopilot. It's his mind he's trying to focus. He looks at the wood that's gone flying. He looks down at the stump, and he looks at the axe that he's picked up, and he decides to put it down.
Finished?
For now. I need to look into the source of the mist. I need to do something. I can't just stand around waiting anymore.
Can't stand? Sit.
Aurelius looks back. I think you misunderstand.
Sit.
Aurelius will humor him and sit down on the very block he was cutting.
Your head running. Racing. Why?
Fidget is unconscious. At any point, I could have stopped her from going out. At any point, I could have acted. I could have gone with Artemis. I could have done anything differently. But I didn't. This is my fault. I will not let another one of you end up in the state that she is.
You could have done something. I could have done something. She could have done something. Artemis could have done something. Serenity could have done something. It is the past. Something happened. If you stay here, points at his head. You will miss helping others. We don't get luxury. Luxury. We don't have permission for weakness. We act on what we know.
How are we meant to act on what we know if we can't find out what we need?
Take a moment and find out. If you can't, he gives a little shrug after a moment. You won't know by running in a direction. Walk. Be patient. When you know, then you sprint. Otherwise, you run away once and you fail another, and you hurt yourself more.
It doesn't matter what happens to me.
You'll
I
hurt
will
them
fight them.
more by hurting yourself.
Will
They love you. Say it. Say they love you.
Aurelius can't bring himself to say it. There's something preventing him. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Tank stands up. He's like this looming shadow, this massive figure, this wide, just absolute monolith. Say it. You deserve better. Say it.
I would rather die than suffer that pain again.
It's not ours. We don't choose their pain, their suffer. We don't get that choice.
I've never had a choice in my life. I've gone from a slave to the fucking clergy and the clerics to now a slave of the collective. I am nothing but a tool, a weapon. That's all I've ever been. That's all I can be. I am a sword.
No, not slave. The collective, not slave. Your family. You chose family. You chose serenity. Artemis. Fidget. You chose.
It is my duty to protect them.
No,
What am I missing?
no. You are like me. Hammer. It is our privilege to protect them. When they need us. But we can't protect them always. We are not shield. Collective does not have shield. Shield Shields too much shelter. We're not a house, we are a home. To shield, a shield can blind you if you do not use it well. So we choose name Hammer. Hammer to build. Hammer to support, give support where we can. Hammer to remove nail when something wrong. Hammer to make old thing new. Shape potential. Potential? Possibility. I see that. I see you. Fidget see you.
Yet none of them can tell me who I am.
Not their job. Yours.
How? If I am not a sword, if I'm not a soldier, if I'm not a protector, what am I?
Friend. Family. Brother. Whatever want.
I've barely gotten over calling myself a monster. I am able to accept that I am human now. And now that I'm... I've never felt this helpless before. Since the Abyss.
What? Okay.
I don't want anyone else to suffer. I can't let anyone else suffer that fate. I don't want anyone else to die. His eyes widen. And he comes to a realization. And he says, humanity can be both the most divine creatures and the most horrific monsters. They are adaptable, they are clay. They can be molded into whatever shape they wish, whatever shape they desire. They just need the right tools, the right knowledge, the right understanding. They need a hammer. There's a shift in Aurelius's eyes for a moment. They go from their normal blue color to an almost shining blue for a moment, as this feeling of anxiety takes over and he looks over his shoulder towards... He looks like he's looking at Tank, but in reality he's looking behind him. As if some kind of silent guardian had been guiding his thoughts. And he's looking at whatever that is, but there's nothing there. It's just a feeling. And he looks at Tank and he says, I don't want to be a soldier anymore.
Then start living. Start as friend. He holds out a hand to you.
And he'll take it and assumingly be pulled up by
Yeah.
a big muscle man.
Yes. And he does like he holds you for a second. Then he does like the arm clasp, and then he pulls you in for a hug.
Fidget said she had friends that used to throw her. You think you could throw me in battle?
You eat like bird. Could almost throw you further.
Then my sword will land harder.
Maybe.
Wanna test it?
He sets up a log, and he steps back a ways, and he does like the fingers into a cradle, and he like motions to you.
Yeah. We can end scene there if we want.
Yeah,
It's just me kind of, yeah.
just goofing off. Is there anything Artemis wants to do?
Just gonna continue what she was already doing while she was up here, percolating on what she will probably talk to the dragon about later, but just gonna continue sitting near a Fidget and making that a new reading and writing book.
Okay. In which case, I know that we usually end around 15 minutes from now. So if we want, we can end session here. And we'll pick back up next week with possible new directions.
Strategizing. Strategizing.
Strategizing. Sure. Okay, I feel like that'll be good just so that we don't go into another scene and get wrapped up in it and go with another cliffhanger. Yeah. Plus, also it doesn't leave us on a cliffhanger where it's like, okay, you can't do that to us. Not 15 minutes into the thing, just going, stop. No.
Yeah. Because I also was thinking about another scene, but I was gonna hold off until next session anyway.
Yeah. So that'll give us more time to work with stuff like that.
Man, that scene went better than I thought it was gonna go.
I'm gonna be honest, all of these scenes have gone out fucking fantastic. For those who are watching, thank you all so very much for doing so. You are fantastic and wonderful, and I appreciate you for taking the time to listen in to this bunch of honestly fantastic people, because, well, they're great, and I love each and every interaction we get to have together, because obviously this is absolutely fabulous. I do post these onto my YouTube channel And for those who are on my YouTube channel watching this after I've posted it, I do stream these live at twitch.tv/WhatTeamComp. Hopefully we will get to see you there. We've covered a lot, and we're going to continue to progress and find more to do. And I'm sure that it will only continue to be more intriguing and more fun the more we continue to play this very fun game that I get to run for all of you. I hope you'll have a wonderful week, and until next time, we are WhatTeamComp. We'll see you later. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
I'm in your floorboards.